So, Almine, one of the themes of this month in I Am Presence, that's April 2014, is the mystical secrets to attracting abundance, but this is also the theme of the upcoming Toronto retreat. Can you just share a little bit about your process in receiving this information?
Well, as usual, I have got a hint of what's coming without actually having the particulars because I am still dealing with what's coming in today. But so far what I have seen ahead in the information that will be revealing itself through studying the deeper mysteries behind the subject of abundance is that we really have not properly understood what abundance is. And that abundance is that which releases in the form of resources. In the denser level, it may translate to supply of material goods and money. But it is that which releases when a pattern releases and destructures into flow and then eventually into another pattern. So there's a pattern, and when the pattern releases, the resources are released, and then what's left, it either uses that to make a new pattern or it draws from its environment to make a pattern. And we've been studying for some years the stages that people go through in the cycles of their lives. For example, transformation, transmutation, transfiguration. But we've never really understood the concept of release and retaining. Release and retaining. The goal would be that, first of all, that it is a gradual release, because then what we have is a continual flow. Otherwise, there's abundance and then there's lack of it as the pattern remakes itself, taking resources. In other words, life is either expensive or it is providing. If we can release that pattern gradually, then it is a flow of abundance, and so there's more of a gracefulness about acquisition and the giving back to life. So that is a very crucial part for us to understand, because also people get afraid if they are in a stage of lack that this might be for the rest of their life. But not so. It's just that it's a time that a new pattern is forming. And it can either be abrupt, as in moments that are like a dotted line, or it can be fluid, like the eternal moment that gives and takes whatever is needed. So this is something we will be discussing, because this is the very root of the concept abundance. Abundance being that resources are being released.
So what can you tell us now, if anything, about how the inner dynamics and mechanics of this would differ from the traditional view of manifestation and law of attraction, which basically says you just need to hold the frequency or the image and it will come to you?
So what I think you're saying is how do we deal with the metaphysics of it in practicality?
Well, how is it different than the traditional view of manifestation?
Well, first of all, manifestation of abundance particularly is only necessary when it's not there. The goal is that we learn how to work with this law of flow and harnessing of supply, because many people think of flow and they speak of abundance as an abundant flow. But what they don't realize is if flow does not have a dam, if the river does not have a dam to go in, when the river dries up because it's summer, the months are hot, it isn't raining, if you're in our weather patterns, then the dam, and if there's not a dam, there is also no water. So we will be learning on working not only with manifesting flow, but learning principles of harnessing it without hoarding it. There's a big difference between harnessing supply and hoarding supply because of fear of lack. So these are the very most basic principles to study. So then how do you manifest it differently? Well, one of the things is you put the desire out that you want the abundance, but then you focus on that which releases water out of the sluices of the dam on a day-by-day basis. And so how exactly do we go about changing the pattern day by day is more important, because the abundance is there. It's held in the patterns of our lives.
So what can you say in this light about the the more common view now, where with the law of attraction, which is basically like a sort of spiritualized consumerism, where it is you can have anything you want, and your heart's desire, it can all be yours. I mean, how do we really scrutinize our heart's desire in working with this new format of manifestation?
First, before you even get to manifesting, is you have to know what you're manifesting. We have viewed abundance as money to pay our bills, instead of viewing abundance as a broad spectrum. If we over-focus on money as the only form of abundance we're dealing with, it creates contraction. Our vision is contracted. Whenever vision is contracted, it creates a constriction in the flow of the river of supply. So it requires a broader vision, and it requires many of the abundant principles that we've given, such as that gratitude increases what you have. These are very applicable. It's just that your viewpoint becomes broader and your understanding of what abundance really is becomes deeper.